Okay, this video is basically going to be called "What is a quadratic function?" So let me define a quadratic function. A quadratic function in standard form is given to be this formula here, where you have some number a times x minus h quantity squared plus a constant, and the h in k is actually the vertex of the quadratic function, because this is going to be a parabola that opens up or down, and so h and k is actually the vertex of that parabola. And the vertical line x equal h is actually the axis of symmetry of that parabola. I'll show you one of those in a minute. Okay, now the graph is a parabola that has a vertical axis. If a is greater than 0, the graph opens upward, and if a is less than 0, the graph opens downward. So let me show you a couple of graphs here. We'll start with this first one. F of x equals 3 times x minus 5 quantity squared plus 3. So if I were to graph this function 3 times x minus 5 quantity squared plus 3, then whatever is subtracted from x is the h value of the vertex, so that would be 5. And whatever's added out here would be the y value of the vertex, and that's going to be 3. And then the line, the vertical line x equal 5 from right here is the axis of symmetry. And again, since a is 3, I know this graph opens upward. So if you want to take a look here, here's the graph, and you see this vertical line right here. This is the line x equal 5, and so this line is the axis of symmetry, and this point right here is actually the vertex, and it's the point 5, 3. You can see right here is 5, 3, so that's the point 5, 3, which is the vertex. And notice that the parabola opens upward. So the other graph was this function, negative 2 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 5. So here you actually would have to take the opposite of this number to get the vertex. So the x value of the vertex would be negative 1. And then this number, since this is negative 5, the y value of the vertex would be negative 5. So the vertex is this point right here, which is the point negative 1, negative 5. And notice that a in this case, the negative 2, is negative, so it opens down. And also notice that this vertical line is the line that goes through the vertex, and that line is the line x equal negative 1. And that's actually your axis of symmetry. Now another way to write a quadratic function is to write it in the standard form, f of x equals, the general form, f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And you could actually write this in that form. All you would have to do is go ahead and square x minus 5, then multiply it by 3, and then collect like terms, and you could put it in this form. So that's just another way to represent a quadratic function. This form here is just another way quadratic function. And in this case, a, b, and c here are just real numbers. And that, my friends, is the answer to what is a quadratic function. And in the next video, we will investigate some quadratic functions.